Knocked out in the last minute of the game. Spursy Gene strikes again, and it's another campaign and another season with no trophies for Tottenham. That is, of course, unless you believe they may go on to win the English Premier League. City were the best team on the night. They really were. Of course, they had the majority of the shots. It was 18 shots to 1. They had a fair amount of possession, Tottenham, but they were pretty toothless. They were pretty impotent, flaccid, really poor when it came to creating chances and creating opportunities in the game. And I think everybody will say City deserved the win. But there was large parts of the game where you felt, is the City curse going to continue at the new White Hart Lane? 5 games they've played there, no goals scored. But then Nathan Ake in the dying moments, some poor goalkeeping really from Vicario. Should have been stronger, should have got a stronger hand on the ball. Slight little nudge from Diaz, but for me, not a foul. And Nathan Ake scored a number of important goals of late for Manchester City, but they again prove why they are the best team in England, why they are the best team in the world, and they come up trumps. Again, they go through to the next round. It's a big victory as well, because away at Tottenham is one of the hardest games for Manchester City. And I think Spurs will be hugely, hugely disappointing. I'll tell you as to why. I predicted a Spurs win. But what did I say, or how did I say the game would be played? City would probably be the best team. City would have the majority of the ball. City would waste their chances. Spurs would somehow walk away with the victory. Every single element of that happened tonight, barring Tottenham's final ball in and around the box. It was awful. The amount of times Timo Werner was in and they failed to play the ball. The approach play at the edge of the box from Tottenham was an absolute abomination tonight when you consider how good they've been in the attack for large parts of this season. Ange Postecoglou will be, and rightfully so, fuming with his team because they had opportunities tonight. You could see that nervousness within City, especially as the game went on. There's some really good periods in the game where Spurs had a lot of the ball, where Spurs played some nice football. But when it comes to having that clinical edge, that clutch mentality within a knockout cup game, it just wasn't there for Spurs. And to concede the goal the way they did, considering all the other chances City created and missed, or KDB, the chance he missed, I couldn't believe my eyes. And then for Spurs to go out the way they did, Postecoglou is going to be absolutely fuming. As I say, toothless, flaccid, impotent. It's what I call eunuch football. It really was poor tonight from Tottenham. That's taken nothing away from Man City, who had a lot of opportunities. We know they're the best team in the world. We know how good they are. We know the abundance of quality they have in their team. But they were not of the races tonight. They failed to convert chances a lot of the time without the KDBs on the pitch, without Erling Haaland. A great opportunity for Tottenham to knock out the favourites for the FA Cup. An opportunity to really see themselves go through to that next round. You don't know who you're going to get. Could be some easy ties to the final. You could get another big team at home with an opportunity to knock them out early. But a great opportunity for a trophy for Tottenham goes begging again. Now, I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you feel in relation to this. But what I saw tonight from Spurs is very much they're soft. They're soft insides. They're soft insides, and their lack of ability to get the job done in really big and important games. They just looked, I think they could have played for another 90 minutes and they would never have scored. This is an area that Postecoglou has got to address. This is an area that he has to work on in abundance. This is an area that he has to focus upon improving, because that lack of clinical edge in big games, in cup games, in knockout games has to improve tenfold. No matter how good the football is week in, week out in the Premier League, when it comes to the crunch, they have to get better. They really, really do. And look, I'm not talking like they were playing Nottingham Forest tonight. They were playing Bristol City or Leyton Orient. I understand how good Manchester City are. But I feel like they had opportunities tonight, Spurs. Let me rephrase that. I feel like they had opportunities to create those chances, to put the game, to score the goals. And I think if Spurs go 1-0 up, Man City don't come back. They had a bit of a voodoo, a little bit of a voodoo, hoodoo type bogey feeling about this ground. That's gone now. They've just won there, and I bet they go on to win a lot more from that point. But yeah, disappointing night for them indeed. No buts, Terry. Now, football is all about buts. Football is all about buts. It's all about ifs. It's all about maybes. It's all about hypotheticals. It's all about why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? Why did he do this? Oh, I love that he did that. That is what football conversations have always been about from day one, and that is never going to change. So what is Terry on about? You know exactly what I'm talking about. That you know I'm talking about the fact that City weren't finishing their dinner. This had an opportunity for a smash and grab feel for it from Tottenham, but they lacked that clinical edge. They had the ball in good areas. They had opportunities to feed players in, and they consistently messed that up. When you come up against Man City and they're not firing on all cylinders, you must capitalize. I think if this was a Premier League game, Spurs win. But when it comes down to that those clutch games, those knockout games, those all-important moments, Spurs will let you down 9 times out of 10, in my opinion. And that is something big that Ange Postecoglou has got to work on. That is what I'm saying. You understand it fully. You know that you do. There we go. This here from Daniel says, that is what I call a domination. City versus Tottenham. They had one shot on target. But do you know what, Daniel? I don't know how much of the game you watched. Being a Chelsea fan, we'll get onto that in a moment. The game wasn't a domination. In terms of shots on goal from both teams, absolutely. And that's, statistics do tell you part of the story. But Spurs had loads of spells in that game where they moved the ball well, where they cut through Man City, and they got the ball into great areas on the edge of the box. They had great counter-attack opportunities, which invariably is how they've beaten Man City. They just didn't play the right final balls. And I think that will upset Ange Postecoglou more, because that's not following through with the system. If you're creating the chances and missing, there's an element there, okay, on another day we might have done it. It was so infuriating to watch. It really was infuriating to watch. So yes, in terms of shots on goal, domination. But in terms of passage of play, the territories of the pitch, the amount of ball being held by Spurs, they weren't dominated in that area. And based on not being dominated, it wasn't like they had 75% of the ball, City. With the amount of ball Spurs had, with the amount of territories that they had good opportunities in, they should have created more shooting opportunities. And that is literally the point I'm making. That lack of cutting edge in these types of games needs to improve. City miss sitters, absolutely IFL. And you're not taking you're not seeing the L here. I'm delivering to Tottenham. You're not getting it. Ding, 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 ding. This was a game where you had to beat City. City weren't taking their chances. They were missing sitters. That's when you take advantage. A game like today, you take advantage of. Because how often is it going to happen that City have these chances and keep missing them? You have to then go and win.